Hey, I'm glad you're back. Today we're going to read a book that is called Picking Apples and Pumpkins. So I want you to look at the book, look at the cover, and based on the pictures that you see and the title that is Picking Apples and Pumpkins, what do you think this book is going to be about? So I want you to turn to an adult and I want you to tell them what you think this book might be about. All right, that's great thinking. And you know what? You just told your opinion because your opinion is what you think. So you told your opinion of what you think this book's going to be about. Someone else might have come up with something different. But we're about to find out. It's called Picking Apples and Pumpkins. Christy couldn't believe it. The day she had been waiting for had finally arrived. She and her best friends were finally going apple picking. "Hi, I'm Scott Applegate," said the man who was giving out the baskets. "Welcome to Battleview Orchards." If you remember, an orchard is like a big apple farm. It's a big place where they grow apples on trees. In no time at all, Christy, her friends Michael and Nina, her sister Kelly, her mom and dad, and her grandmother were taking an old-fashioned hayride. Everyone's cheeks glowed in the crisp autumn air. So you can see they are taking a hayride. Have you ever been on a hayride? Maybe it was for Halloween, maybe it was for a fall festival. Have you ever been on a hayride? It's just where they hook a trailer like this up to a tractor or a truck or sometimes even a four-wheeler, and they put hay on it and you sit on the hay bales and they ride you around. There were macoons and yellow delicious apples that were ripe for picking. Christy wanted to pick both kinds. The kids decided to start with the red ones. Nina reached an apple and took a bite. Mmm, that first apple tasted so sweet. So you can see they're at the orchard and they are picking apples. And they started with the red ones. The red ones are ripe and they are ready to be picked. While Christy and Nina piled apples in a basket, Grandma checked them to make sure none of them were bruised. "These will be perfect for my apple pie," she said. "Look up there," she said to Nina and Christy. Michael had climbed all the way to the top of the tree. "There are some great apples up here," he called down to Krista and Nina. So the grandma was looking at the apples to make sure they weren't bruised. Have you ever had a bruise? Maybe you fell and you hurt your knee and you got a bruise, or maybe you bumped your head and you got a bruise. Well, did you know that when apples get hurt, they get bruises too? If they fall off the tree really hard and they land, it'll put a bruise on their skin, just like us. And so that bruise on the apple, it gets really soft and then it starts to go bad. It starts to rot, and you don't want to eat that part. So Grandma was looking at the apples to make sure that they didn't have bruises because she's going to make an apple pie. And you can't make an apple pie with bruised apples. This time it was Christy's turn to climb to the top of the tree and pick apples from the highest branch. When everyone had picked enough red apples, Kelly and Michael picked up the basket and carried it back to the hay wagon. Scott drove everyone to the yellow delicious apple trees. So they already picked their red apples. Now they're going to pick their yellow apples. After she climbed down, Christy's father showed her how to use a picker to pick apples that were high up in the trees. A picker is a long stick with a basket at the end of it. So they put the picker way up in the trees, and it has a basket on the end so they can tug on the apple and it will fall in the basket. It makes your job of picking apples a lot easier. All too soon, it was time to leave. Christy's parents helped the children pile their apples together, and the kids collapsed in a tired heap. And that is all we're going to read today. So, these kids had a wonderful time at the apple orchard picking apples. Now, I don't think we have an apple orchard around here, but we do have grocery stores and farmers markets where you can go and choose your apples. You don't get to actually pick them from a tree, but you can go and decide which ones you want. So at the store, they have them separated by the different kinds of apples. So in one basket, you might have red delicious apples. In another basket, you might have the yellow delicious apples. And in another basket, you might have the green Granny Smith apples. So I want you to go to a grocery store or a farmer's market, and I want you to go look at the different kinds of apples. And try, if you can, try to get one of each, take them home and taste them, and form your own opinion about what you think about the apple. So you might think that the yellow delicious apples are your favorite because they're sweet and they taste just like apple juice. Your least favorite, it might be the green Granny Smith apple because it's so sour you just can't eat it. So decide for yourself, form your own opinion about apples. And then I want you to tell someone what you think about apples. All right, well, I will see you back here later with another great apple activity.